welcome to the stage door with me, Divina,
And me, Michael.
Oh, you said that very authoritatively then,
Wow.
Michael. That was very nice. Well, we're traveling up and down the country, chatting to all these amazing performers, directors, choreographers, writers, and we're hanging around stage doors to find out as much information as we can about the theatre world and the people who
Absolutely.
work within that world. And
Yes.
today we have been joined by Elijah Fereira.
Hi.
Hello.
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 How are you?
How am I? I'm really nervous. Other than that, I'm quite well.
You look
Yeah.
nervous. For anyone who's listening to this, I'm trying to describe it. There's a lot of like movement going on of just sort of rearranging and stressing.
Yeah,
but you don't need to be stressed.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're just having a chat. Nobody else is here. It's just us.
That's true. What if I say something awful that not even you've heard before?
Then I can cut that
You'll
out.
cut it out. Yeah.
There we go. That's sorry, anybody listening. That's the reality. If the person chatting doesn't want me to put it out, you don't get to hear it. But we did.
Yes.
And in 20 years' time, when they're mega, mega famous, I'll be like, I am going to release this unless you pay me £7 million. I won't do that, obviously, because I won't have... My hard drive will be corrupted by then anyway, because they only build them to last for like a year, don't they? So I won't have any of this in 20 years' time when you're mega, mega famous.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us, what's happening right now? What's been going on? What's the day been occurring?
Today been occurring. I'm in between at the moment, so I finished quite recently. I finished a new play that was called The Mad Gay King that was directed by Scott LaCrafts, who Davina's also just worked with.
I have just done a show with him all about the porn industry. And
Yeah, which...
the person who'd written the show had a lot of experience and done a lot of research in order to write that show.
Mm.
It was a lot of fun though. I didn't have to do any of that stuff though, because I was just... In fact, there was none of that. It's a very, really, the show itself is quite tame. You know, there's other shows which are on which are not about anything like that, and they are so much more explicit and so much more skin and flesh and simulation occurring on stage. There's none of that really happened. Just a bit of silliness. So
it was actually quite tasteful.
Yeah,
I came and saw it. I quite enjoyed it. It was very touching.
The bits I wasn't in were tasteful, and then and then I'm just doing whatever. So tell us all about the Mad King. What happens in the Mad King?
Yeah, oh my goodness, so it's incredible. It was written by Christopher Adams Cohen, who's this LA-based playwright who came over. Actually, he lives here now, but was in LA before. And it's about King Ludwig II of Bavaria and his sort of life, love, and eventual undoing. And he was this incredible, extravagant, eccentric, artistic, very young king. He came into power when he was 18, after his dad died. And he was gay, quite openly gay, and fell in love with the horse master, who was called Richard Hornig.
I'm glad you put master after that. I was...
He fell in love with the horse master, played by David Buttle, very beautiful, lovely David Buttle, in our production. So it follows that relationship.
That poor David, he's got a name for bullying at high school, hasn't he?
Bless him. No, but he's so... I don't think he would have suffered. He's so sort of...
Oh, okay, that's good.
He's got the face to make up for it.
Okay, good. Because, listen, when I was at school, they'd have just been like, you're right, butthole.
But yeah.
The whole time, they would have been very cruel to him. So I'm glad that, he didn't need to suffer with that. So what should we take away from Ludwig?
Oh my goodness. Ludwig, when he was... It's actually... So it translates quite a lot. For me, it was a very emotional process, almost surprisingly so, because for him, he was living in this world that just absolutely was not ready for him at all. So in the context of the time that show was set in, obviously it was because he was gay and because he was very artistic and eccentric in a way that they sort of classified him as mentally ill. So they called him the Mad King. He wasn't really mad at all. He was a result of the circumstances he was living in. He sort of untangled because of the oppression he was facing. But for me, there was a lot of his experience that Christopher had sort of elaborated on and fleshed out in it that really just aligns with existing as a queer person, but specifically for me as a trans person and as a trans performer now, a lot of that experience translates. And it was quite interesting working with cast and creative, and also with David as well, who are gay, who kind of don't have the experience anymore that somebody like King Ludwig would have had. But it doesn't feel that far removed for me at all. So a lot of what I was playing for, when you think about it, is just kind of thinking he was going through this because he was gay and they were ostracizing him for that reason. And people kind of go like, well, we don't take it quite so far anymore for gay people. But, you know, my health records still have transsexualism as a diagnosis on them. So it doesn't feel that far. There's still debate about whether, you know, we're all actually just mentally ill and crazy. And
How do you actually feel about that though? Without trying, I know you are saying it in a way, and forgive me if I'm asking too forward a question, but I feel like it would help people maybe if you actually let people know how that actually made you feel. Do you know what I mean? Is that too deep of a question to literally question one?
No, I don't think it's. I'm happy to go there if you're happy. Divina knows me, and she knows not many of my conversations go anywhere without getting particularly deep. So, but
that's what we're here for. We want to
get
to know you.
We're both like this, though, both of us.
Yeah.
So we'd start with like, "Oh, do you want a sandwich?" And then we'd be talking about like astrophysics or something by the end of the conversation, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, no, listen, like it is difficult, and you don't. It's not like I spend every day kind of thinking about it because you would go insane, and so I don't sort of dwell on it too much, and you do the best with what you have. And obviously, like I know that I'm not, with regards to that, mentally ill. Like I've got my issues, but that's not really one of them. There are some other things that should go back to therapy, but being trans isn't one of them really. And so it is. It just is challenging, even if you can look at these people and say, like, they're obviously wrong and ill-informed and misguided. Not necessarily even always malicious, but certainly misguided and ill-informed and uneducated about it. And you can rationalise it in that way, but when you're faced with it in the way that we are, particularly at the moment, it does just become quite exhausting.
I can imagine.
To have to constantly...
Yeah, no, I feel like
yourself.
Divina, that's what we come to you for, with the education side of things, you know? No, but it's true, because I feel like you find a sort of place where you can laugh things off and between your own community and everything else. But actually, I think the education side of being able to speak and hear people's experiences is really important. Yeah,
100%. And I think, you know... Following on from what you're saying, you know, that some of it isn't malicious. I think a lot of it is, I think you can only still be in that place where you're, you know, pronouncing those beliefs if you are intentionally ignorant, if you are intentionally not engaging with the reality of what human existence is. It's complicated. It's not black or white. It's not one or the other. It never has been. It never will be. And that's what makes being human so rich and interesting and exciting and varied. You know, what did I watch this week? I saw a little video of the tallest woman meeting the shortest woman in the world. And the tallest woman is like 7'6" and the shortest woman is like 3'2". And just in that one video, you look at that and you go, the breadth of humanity just in this one place between these two people living on the same planet is so massive that, you know, these ideas, they're easy ways for us to construct little boxes for each other and to help us to understand the world in a very simple way. But the world isn't like that. And people I understand the reaction to push against that. I completely understand that. Nobody wants to be told, yes, this is what you were taught when you were 10, but actually that's not really what life is like. You know, it's a very simplified way of understanding the world, and you've carried that for 40 years or however long, but actually life is more like this. It's more like this weird scale of weirdness. So we're all just weirdos being weird. So I should have spelt this out right at the beginning. So Eli and I do already know each other. We worked together on Hedwig and the Angry Inch, Cards on the Table. And Eli, you won Best Performer in a Musical at the Stage Debut Awards for your performance in that show as Yitzhak, as I'm dreadfully sorry, as my husband. But I was like slightly confused by that because I don't think it was necessarily your debut. I think you might have done a few things before that.
Yeah, so I never talk about this, but we're doing it now. I genuinely,
It's 3 years ago now. It's 3 years ago.
Yeah,
they can't take it off you.
It's happened. They can't take it away. I was really quiet about this at the time because I didn't know. I was like, I don't know that I should qualify for this. I'm not completely sure how it works. I did some Googling. The way that they break it down is that I think it's like your first sort of big thing where they have reviewed you.
Okay.
Which is how I'm justifying it. But no, you're right. It was certainly my first. It was the biggest production I'd done yet, and it was actually my first musical. I'd not done a musical before that.
Okay, well there you go. You've ticked off 2 of those things then. That's fine.
Yeah, and it was for Best Performer in a Musical. But no, I had not long before that. I'd finished a tour of Midsummer Night's Dream. Suddenly, it all feels so wrong. It feels like I really shouldn't have been there.
Well, what was that like? Because that's you're not early in your career, but what does that feel like, winning that award and getting that recognition?
No, it was mad. Like I was really emotional about it. I was really quite touched, but just because, and particularly because it was for musical theatre. So Hedwig was my first musical. It was my first time auditioning for a musical as well, properly. And I didn't know, there was a period for me where I really didn't know whether I was going to be able to have any kind of career in musical theatre, despite being like kind of wanting that from quite a young age, like a really, really young age. I had always been singing and everything, and then I trained as a straight actor, and we did singing and everything, but as predominantly in sort of straight theatre. And then I graduated and I was with an agent, and then I came out and I started transitioning, and I had to leave my first agent because he wasn't malicious, but he didn't quite understand how to work with me. And I sat in this weird, just aesthetically and vocally, this like ambiguous place that they were struggling to work with. So I left them, and then I was with a new agent and had similar struggle with her, and she was more explicit about what it was that I could and couldn't do, and how I needed to put myself forward if I wanted to work at all. And I heard this from a lot of people. A lot of people kind of saying to me, you either need to... I remember being explicitly told, I can't believe God, in this day and age, you can come out in your private life, but it's probably not a good idea if you want to continue to work. Maybe just continue to work as a woman, because you're going to be more castable that way. Which would have killed me, literally. And I was like, well, I can't do that. So I just had to kind of take the dive, and then I left that agent as well and carried on in my transition and everything, and then signed with CKG, Cowling, Knox and Guy, and David, Mel and Steph there, who I'm still with now. And I remember interviewing with them. I sent them off my stuff. I was looking for new agents and having an interview with them and talking to Mel, who I love, and she's wonderful. And they said, we'd love to take you on. You're probably not going to work in musical theatre. Yet, at least. And I was like, right, okay. And they really do a lot of MT. Like they're very aligned to that, which is why I was interested in the first place. And she was very honest with me, and she just said, "You just at the moment, like, there's not really a casting for you right now with where you are being out, and we'll put you forward for male parts and everything, but with your voice." And my voice wasn't broken at the time. I was, had I even started? I was just about to start testosterone, I think. So I had this mezzo soprano high alto voice.
Thank you.
Yeah. And well, exactly. And I looked quite different, sort of same vibe but softer and everything. But I was going up for these male parts, and then I started to transition, and my voice went mental in a way that it does for anybody going through a masculine puberty, except I was doing it at age 21. So I'd had 21 years of working with this one voice and learning how to sing in this particular style with this voice, and then it was changing, and I was like, oh, I may never be someone with a good enough voice now to ever work in musical theatre. I was like, this might, regardless of the fact that people aren't keen on casting trans men, there's not many trans male parts, so if they don't want to cast me in cis parts and there aren't male parts for trans men, then regardless of that, I don't have a voice either. So I really was, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to make my bed with the fact that this probably won't happen for me, probably ever. And then Hedwig came along, which I'd been obsessed with since I was 11 or 12. And I was maybe 4 months or something on testosterone when I sent my audition tape in, and they came back, and I was baffled. And then did it, and then it did really, really well. And Alex Beechan, who was our MD, did a huge amount of work with me to get everything right and working and sitting in my voice and working with where I was at. And Leon Trayman as well, who's a voice coach of mine. So there was a lot of work that went into it, and when it did so well then, and then having that be acknowledged in such a public way with the debut awards, the stage awards, felt massive to me, because I went from thinking I won't have a career in this, I might not have a career at all, nobody wants to see this, and I don't even know if I'm capable of it anymore.
Well, you
right
were.
The way through to...
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to hear... Obviously, you were more than capable and well-deserved. I saw Hedwig, and obviously you got to be Divina's husband. Now, I'm known as her sort of TV husband.
Oh, I've got both husbands on the line with me. I've actually got 4 husbands.
And so I've got a few thoughts on that. Firstly, how was it working with Divina? But also, we've actually had some listeners write in and ask questions. So they knew you were coming on, and they said the chemistry between yourself and Divina was actually a huge part of Hedwig for them. They wanted to know whether you had read together before you worked together, or whether it was just luck that it all came together. That was from Nick on Instagram.
Yeah, do you want to... Shall I or shall you?
You. This is
Me.
you. Yes.
Oh yeah,
We can
you're
chat to
talking to
Divina
me.
anytime.
Oh, yeah, you're here every time. Oh yeah.
They hear more than enough from me. As I interject.
Me being
no
like, would you like to
reason.
talk about it? We did read together. We had an audition. We read together and we sang together. I think it was my final callback. So I taped, and I don't remember how many rounds there were, maybe 3. But yeah, and then it was our final callback. We did read together. We sang together, and you kind of I don't know what your experience of it was. Maybe it was very different to mine. But sometimes you leave a room sometimes knowing that you felt good with that person. Sometimes you have the opposite experience, and you leave and you're like, okay, well, maybe one of us will get cast, but certainly not both of us together. And then sometimes you leave going, no, that felt just felt connected. I remember there was a bit in it that in the script initially, the sort of original script, I think Yitzhak spits
Yes.
at you, and we did that scene in the callback, and we got to it, and I just should have asked. I didn't ask, what are we gonna do here? When I didn't ask, and then we just went into it, and I didn't spit at you. But I think I just sort of walked towards you, and I think I just stared at you like in the eyes for a really long time.
Which is hard to do.
Which, yeah, and it could have, but this is the point, right? So it could have felt really awful, and it didn't. I remember being like, well, I felt able to do that with you immediately in an audition, which is a huge deal because they're difficult. We'd never met each other before. And I remember thinking, like, that was quite... I don't know, there was something about it. I don't know, the fact that I felt able to do that with you in the first place, for me, was like an indicator that there was something that might work. And then we sang together as well, which was ridiculous for me. I left it, I was like, oh my god, I'm just... Even if I don't get it, I'm just so with Divina and Campo, I can go home and be okay. So I was like... I remember calling my friend and me, just gushing. I think I went into Sports Direct just to, like, walk around somewhere. I don't know why I chose Sports Direct. It was nearby.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my train.
Get me in the most masculine place possible. I've been with this
right.
crazy woman.
No.
But I laughed when you left, and you'd said to me that had sort of made you feel maybe like that it hadn't been as successful. But I'd laughed. So this is I had laughed because I'd been so blown away, and then you were so handsome, and then you have the most incredible bum. And as you left, I was so blown away by it that I just burst out laughing because I was like, they're gonna fall in love with him. The audience are going to fall in love with this kid who looks like Danny Zuko. Like, they're just going to be like, you are so gorgeous and so open. And, you know, it was just immediate that I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is Yitzhak. You cannot help but fall in love with this person because they're just so present and so handsome that the whole audience is just immediately going to be like, okay, that's my new boyfriend. See you later.
It's so lovely to hear. It's so oh my god, my ego. But,
yes, and that's quite enough of that. So I'd like to know a little bit, because it's actually you are a really interesting person, and the journey that you've been on from kind of childhood all the way through till now is really extraordinary. So I want, if you can, to take us back to where it all began. You know, growing up, what family life was like, the things that helped to shape you as a person.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I grew up in the Western Cape of South Africa, which is not Cape Town, just has the word Cape in it. People go, Cape Town! You go, no, that is the one place in South Africa you've heard of, but it's not that one. No, so I grew up there. It was very beautiful, it's very mountainous, and open, and hot. But so I grew up there, and we moved to the UK then when I was around 10 with my mum, my dad, and my brother. And my mum was a teacher, and then when we moved to the UK, she started working in child protection and sort of doing that work. My dad used to be a hostage negotiator in South Africa, which is a nuts job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, and where did you move to in the UK?
We moved to just like on the outskirts of Reading.
Is there much call for hostage negotiation in Reading?
Maybe there should be. No, not that I'm aware of. I don't think so. No, so he now works as a clinical. He's a clinical psychotherapist and a psychologist. Yeah. So he works with young people, so children up until the age of 19, I think. He's very good at his job. But yeah, I had a fairly. I mean, my parents are great. I have a very good relationship with my parents. I think my upbringing with them, like, there's not a lot that I can complain about.
Yeah.
Sort of think back. I think everyone has their things because parents are human beings, and they can we swear? I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Sort of fuck you up in several ways, like unintentionally, lovingly.
Yeah.
And then so I was in the UK going to school here and everything. And we were kind of okay. Things got sketchy a little bit, difficult, as I think they do for lots of people between the age of sort of maybe 14 up. Where I think I was just very aware of who I was not being acutely so.
Yeah.
And so that all got challenging, and our relationship got more challenging as well. You know, and we sort of dealt with it, and then maybe I'm skipping over a lot here, but who knows? I guess they did that. They did.
You don't have to give us all the.
No, but like the whole biography.
It's wherever you're comfortable, darling. That's the thing, you know. So you don't have to tell us all the gory details.
No,
it's as much as you're comfortable with.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear. But no, I mean, like I had a really sort of. I think there was like a bit of a sort of culture shock moving initially, just because culturally it's very different.
Mm.
I felt maybe it's just an age thing as well about the age that we moved, but I did feel, I think in Western culture it feels like there's even more of a pressure to conform to certain ideas than there were back home. Suddenly there were, at a much younger age as well, I was suddenly thinking about things that I was not thinking about before we moved. So I think culturally there was a lot at play as well, but we dealt with it, and then eventually I didn't come out until I was 20. Oh my gosh. No, I'm lying to you. I started my medical transition when I was 21, but I came out... No, I was 21. I was 21. I came out at 21 and then transitioned later. But and then that was hard, and suddenly my relationship with my family was not, for a while, was not the same as it was, which was a massive shift. Because like I say, my mum works in child protection and does all of that. They both like majored in psychology at university. My dad is a clinical therapist. So we're a very open, very, very open family. We talk a lot about everything, like over the dinner table. It's not a particularly strange thing. And then that stopped completely. In a way to me that was really surprising. And then it took maybe, I would say, sort of 2 years of battling through that before we sort of rebuilt. And now we're kind of back to where we were in that we've managed to fix all of that up, and everything's pretty good now. But
I mean, there's that sort of thing of being, you know, you can be a professional in an area like that, but then when it comes to being a human and experiencing that, I think, you know, that's for other people to deal with. I've sorted that out. You know, there can be that for parents. You have to let go of what you think is going to happen for your child. Because, I mean, parents have to deal with that anyway. As soon as your kid has left home, whatever you think is going to happen for them, you have to let that go, because it's not up to you. It's nothing to do with you anymore. All you can do is be a loving and supportive you know, place for them to come back to, because, oh, heaven knows that's what we all actually, you know, need from a parent at that point.
Yeah.
And I think that when you're kind of helping other people to go through that, then sometimes you have a blind spot yourself to it. You know, like, it's like teachers who have kids, and then their kids go to school, their kids are absolutely rotten in school, and then they come home and they've got detentions, and then they're calling the other school that the kid don't go to, and they're going, why have they got a detention? Da, 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 da. And you're like, you're a teacher and you know your child. Yeah. Why is this a blind spot for you? And it's because, you know, it's a blind spot. It's just a blind spot, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just being human, isn't it? Humans are weird creatures.
Yeah, I think everyone's doing the best they can with what they know at that time, most of the time. You know, My parents certainly are not malicious. They're incredibly loving, wonderful people. But it's different when it's in the family, and it's harder, and you panic and worry and get frightened. And
yeah.
But, yeah.
So, Eli, I'm shifting into a
zone. We're moving swiftly
I'd
along.
like to play a little game with you where basically we're asking people to name as many musicals as they can in 30 seconds. I think you're going to be good at this.
This is fun.
I will panic and say like 2.
That's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll let you know 9 is our least.
Reset. Okay.
Ready?
9 is the least.
Let's go.
Okay. Merrily we roll along. Into the Woods, Sing Street, Les Mis, Pippin, Shooting Star, Guys and Dolls, Anastasia, what are my friends in? Oh my gosh, I'm panicking.
What were you in?
Have I said it? Have I not said it? Hedwig. Oh my god, I haven't said it. Little Shop of Horrors.
Hey!
Tick Tick Boom. Okay.
10, not the worst.
10
not the worst.
across the board.
Is it not?
Not the worst. We got a 9.
Thank you.
Okay.
Look, we don't want to take up all of your time, but I really do want to know, what's the dream? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What show do you want to be in? Tell me.
Yeah, good question. I don't know that it will happen in 5 years because of the nature of the industry. But if I could do whatever I wanted, I'd be continuously working in a nice mix of, I think, straight theatre and musical theatre.
Okay.
But doing that, I would love. There's a production of it happening. I did audition. I wasn't cast. I'd love one day at some point to be in a production of Little Shop of Horrors. That would be a real goal for me. There's a production of, it's in the works apparently, I've been told, of Pride, there's a book and then obviously the movie as well.
Oh.
Matthew Warchus is attached to it. It's going to be a musical, and I've got my eyeballs everywhere for that because I would love just to be seen. I think putting that out there, I think that would be incredible.
This is what this is for right now. This is manifesting.
Put me in Pride the musical. I'm
There we go.
Yeah.
Right, we've got one last game.
Okay.
And what happens is, I don't know the line, though, Michael, so you'll have to sing it, darling.
I think I know. I'll try it. We had the wonderful Dan Partridge on, who was currently in Here and Now, Steps musical, but is going into Kinky Boots. So he sang us a line from Kinky Boots, and we need you to complete the line. And then we want a line from you, from your favourite musical, that we'll get our next guest to complete.
Okay.
This is stressful now, isn't it?
I think
my anxiety levels are so high on a daily basis. Just my baseline. And now I'm gonna need to take a Valium later. No, I mustn't.
So, from Kinky Boots, that's a good start. I think the line he sang was, "This is time for a shake-up."
No, I genuinely don't know.
Neither do I.
Something put on my makeup? I don't know, I'm guessing.
Look at me, wake up.
Okay, that's lovely.
Thank you.
Very nice, Michael.
Did you book
Have
me?
you thought of auditioning?
Yes. No, I didn't actually audition for Kinky.
I think you'd make a great Charlie Price.
Thank you. I would love to. Dan, I'm coming
And
for you.
I can teach you how to do the Northern accent.
I know, that's the thing.
Even though it's a Midlands accent, but, I can teach you.
I can teach you.
All right.
Thank you.
So, Eli, we want a line from your favourite show or, whatever.
Okay.
To give to the next person.
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, well, it has to be something. I'll do something from Hedwig. I really love. Oh, I know. Yeah, there's no mystical design, no cosmic lover pre-assigned, and then there's more to it, which I won't say because of the nature of the game. But unless you need it.
No, that's fine.
Okay, great.
No mystical design, no cosmic. Say it again.
There's no mystic. It was your line. You sang it every night. There's no.
I've emptied the Filofax now, darling. It's all gone.
You sang it whilst I wept side stage.
I know.
Yeah.
No cosmic lover pre-assigned. Okay, yeah. All right. I can definitely remember that. Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us at Stage
Thank
Door.
you, Eli.
We hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Thanks, likewise.
We'll see you soon, and I can't wait to see what you've been writing. There's a little Easter egg for everybody.
Oh.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.